And I'm live. Let's get this stream going. All right, welcome. This is official episode 1 of my channel live stream. I am doing one of these now. Why? Because COVID prevented me from going out, doing anything. And now I've decided to do this because I'm bored, man. I want to do this. I'm going to start my podcast in a couple weeks. Got a microphone in my wish list on Amazon. I'm going to bring that in. And then I'll start doing those over Zoom. But for now, for this stream, I'm really just going to talk about a couple things, give some reviews, give my thoughts, and then we will be done. Now, I'm assuming most people on YouTube watch Netflix. Granted, I feel like everybody watches Netflix except for those who, for some reason, don't have it. For those who have cable, just get rid of it. Because again, I know that there is stuff on cable that you like to watch, but Netflix has so much stuff. And my thing is, they are this whole pandemic. This may be fucked up to say, but this pandemic may be one of the best things that's ever happened to them, because they've put out so much content in the last 3 months. They're putting out comedy specials on Tuesdays and movies and television on Fridays. Some cases where they come out on Wednesdays, but generally, like on Fridays, is when they are murdering. And this last Friday was the final season of 13 Reasons Why. I don't know how many people are still watching or have watched, or did anybody here finish the show? Because I did. And my thoughts are this. The first season is a fantastic moment in television. It's a great series, and even though people don't like it, I understand why people don't like it. They have some issues with it, and I praise it though, because again, this is a giant platform that Netflix is presenting this issue that is mental health. And again, we have a lot of stuff going on right now, but the one issue that has always been personal to me is mental health issues. Because again, like my dad had mental health issues. I have some stuff, and obviously, it's not to the extreme that 13 Reasons Why presents it as. And now, so of course, there are people who are dealing with those issues, and I completely understand how some people are angry about the show being out there and for everybody to watch. But I'm glad that they made it, because it brought this issue to a whole other level. Because again, a show about depression and suicide is in 190 countries right now. And I'll say though, second season is not good. It's okay, but it's not good. Because they were starting to go, because that first season was based on, the show was based on one book. It's just one book. And the first season covered that book. And it turned a 280-something page book into a 13-episode first season. And it was a great first season. The second season, though, however, is where it starts to go down, because now that you're past the book, you have to keep the show going and have a story, but you don't know where to go. I feel like they didn't really know where to go after that first season was over, because again, they did wrap up a couple things, specifically with Hannah's character. But other than that, the second season didn't really offer much to me personally. But the third season, though, is garbage. It's really bad, and that was one where I just felt like they were running out of ideas. And I understand, maybe they had an idea that I thought, okay, let's bring in a new narrator and have this from her point of view. But however, when you have a character that's not necessarily that likable, and again, I have nothing against the actress. She did the job she was hired to do. Because I know that people go after people who are in shows that they don't like, and it's very often race related, and that's not fair. That is very not fair. And of course, Kelly Marie Tran did not deserve that. Leslie Jones didn't deserve that. And what's the name of the girl who plays Ani? And again, and I've seen interviews. She seems like a very nice person, but because of what they said to her on social media, she doesn't have it anymore. What's her name? Let me look it up. Just give me a second. Sorry. It is. God damn, where is it? Grace Safe. Madam, I apologize if I butchered your name. But again, I didn't. It wasn't against. It's not against her personally. I just didn't think she was a very well-written character, and I wasn't really a fan of what they did with Bryce's story, and also how they handled the events of the season 2 finale, because that finale in season 2 was fucked up. It was a very fucked up thing, and I was shocked that because again, like, and I have nothing against not showing things, but I'm just amazed that they did that because of what and I was just shocked, like, wow, like, again, I know it's not HBO, and I know that we're not on this network where you can't say things, but like, I'm just amazed that they put that out there. And in season 3, of course, dealt with some of those issues, and it tried to add in this whole mystery plot to it, but to me it just didn't work. And then you have season 4, which is 10 episodes. Instead of 13, it's 10. And in my opinion, though, like, when you have shows that are in an hour long, like, of course, unless you're on NBC, where you have, or any of the major networks where you have between 16 to 24 episodes in a season, I think personally you should go more in the route of where TNT does, to where TNT it does on average maybe between 8 to 13 episodes in a season. Why? Because I feel as though you can concise your story better down to that, and then also you don't spend so much time on certain things. Now, of course, there are some shows on Netflix that, because they are 13 episodes, they are overly long. I still have not seen Iron Fist. I hear it's bad, and from what I understand, it didn't need to be 13 episodes. And there's some reasons why, the last season of 13 Reasons Why didn't need to be 13 episodes. It just stretched it out. But at least with season 4, it was 10 episodes. It was more concise. However, the first half for me just didn't work. It was very rusty. It was going all over the place. Specifically, the episode where they go on the camping trip, that episode was just out of left field. I didn't understand what was the whole thing of that. It was similar to how in Stranger Things, you remember they had that episode in season 2 where Eleven just went off and found her people, and it was not necessarily all that good. And it was the same for this show, that episode. However, once it goes past that, so I believe that was episode 5. So episodes 6 through 10 are when the show finally starts to find a rhythm and goes on this path. And it goes there, and it has that series finale. And granted, the series finale is very, very, very long. The series finale is basically a film, because it ends. The running time is 99 minutes. Okay, well, an hour and 38 minutes and 49 seconds, but let's just round that up to 99 minutes. That is a feature film series finale. And what it does is, while not spoiling, it wraps things up. It leaves you in a place to where, hey, listen, this show was a mess for a good chunk of it, but at least it wraps it up in a way that I thought was well done. You bring some characters back, you wrap some storylines up, and you make you think, these characters are going to be okay. These characters are going to be able to move on and have their lives start fresh, and they can put this shit behind them. But one thing that I love, though, in this finale, what after they finish doing what they do, and again, I'm not going to say what it is that they did, but it ends with them saying, hey, we will always be there for each other. And again, this was a group of people that weren't necessarily involved anywhere besides maybe having a class together. But because of this tragedy that happened, and the other things that happened over the 4 seasons, and again, I don't know how long is it supposed to be. Is it 4 years exactly, or is it just 3.5 years? I don't know. Let's just say 4 seasons. So over these 4 seasons, they are able to be there for each other, and it ends with them saying, "Hey, we will be there for each other. Let's promise each other that no matter where we are, we will be there for each other." And that's one of the things that I was shocked by, how well they handled that. And I liked what they did for Clay's character. And of course, Clay has been through a lot. He is the person that you are following for this. And he is somebody that he's an average kid, but he gets involved in some very, dark and suspenseful things that lead him down this rabbit hole. And I thought Dylan Minnette did a great job with his role. Again, there were a couple episodes that didn't work for me, but then again, that's just him doing his job that he was paid to do, and he was just doing the dialogue, and all the actors were just doing the dialogue, and they're just doing what they were told. I was shocked by where the character of Justin's arc goes. I won't say what it is, but again, like considering how much that character has gone through, I'm amazed that they did that. But again, like this is a show that I feel is fairly set in reality. Now there are a couple things that they go off the rails a little bit with, but to me this felt like a fairly grounded series. And this kind of, in many ways, opened up the doors to talking about mental health issues in ways that they had never done with before. And again, I deal with some of this stuff. I do. And again, I don't deal with depression to that amount. But it's just like, every once in a while, like I just don't, it's okay. And again, like it's not, I'm not trying to seek sympathy, but like it's okay if one day, like, one day you're not happy. Not every day is supposed to be like this great happy day. It's not supposed to be the best day ever every single day. Now, of course, there is that phrase, carpe diem, seize the day. I know that because of my psychology teacher from high school, Miss Thomas. But there are just some days where, like, you start to think, today, I don't feel like seizing the day. And again, like, that's okay. But as long as you have people there for you, you're going to be okay. And I don't know where I'm curious to know where these actors are going to go. Like, Christian Navarro, who played Tony, he had a strong performance all throughout. Like, he's one of the characters I was always by his side because he was the one that kind of was kept everybody in check. And one character that I just hated with every waking second is Monty. And I don't know if they were, because part of season 4 is about Monty. And Monty was a fairly bad person, especially with what he did in season 2. And they were trying to, paint him as a not so bad person. Maybe he wasn't before the show starts. I don't know. But like in the time that you were shown this character throughout this 49 episode run, he's kind of a bad person a lot of the time. And also, I was shocked by how, I know that, because for those who don't know, when you are on a show and you're playing teenagers, generally you get people who are at least 18 years old, because if you get minors on a television show, you can only work them 6 hours a day. So granted, you may be on set for 10 hours, but that includes 3 hours of school and 1 hour of lunch. So you only have them for 6 hours total. Which is why when you get actors, you need to get them adults. That way you can work them, 16, 18-hour days. And for those who don't know, when you're working on hour-long television, specifically in the dramas, you are working 16 to 18-hour days. I know that on The Sopranos, Gandolfini was saying that he works, 16, 17-hour days. That's normal. But guess what? You are living out your dream. You are on TV. You are in a very popular series. So you know what? Suck it up. and again, I'm saying that in a paraphrasing of, listen, the hours are long, but we're making a television show, and it's very popular. We're doing well. But I was just shocked by how old some of the characters are. Like Dylan Minnette is my age. We shared the exact same birthday. We're born the same year. But like Ross Butler is 29 years old, almost 30. I think he is 30. The guy that played Monty, he's 33. Now, some of the characters are, born between, 1993 to, 1997. So, between, the ages of, 22 to, 26. And that's fine. Beverly Hills 90210 is, the jump starter of, though there was Happy Days, but I'm talking about, specifically, teen-based dramas. Beverly Hills 90210 started that off when you have Ian Ziering, however you say his name, playing a high school student at 26 years old. And going back to performances, everybody did a decent job this season. The characters you're not supposed to like, you don't like them. And even though it is a mess for the first half, it wraps itself up pretty decently. And That finale, it's 98 minutes, but it's a solid finale. Like, it hits you hard in the stomach, but that's what the show is meant to do. It's not supposed to be this pretty picture about life. It's about the struggles that people deal with. It's about the shit that everybody goes through. But the main thing, though, I felt with this season, specifically with those last 15 minutes, is when a group of people are bound together by this tragic thing in their lives that brought them together, they will be there for each other. And that's the main thing that stuck with me for that finale. So, listen, in regards to the rankings of the series, it goes season 1 at the first one, season 4, season 2, then season 3. Though seasons 2 and 3 to me combined to just be. Moving on, though, to the last season of Fuller House. Last 9 episodes premiered on Netflix last week. I believe it was Wednesday instead of Friday. That's odd for Netflix, but you know what? They can do whatever the fuck they want because they've been kicking ass throughout this entire quarantine pandemic. Fuller House it's a cheesy show. It's a sequel to one of the cheesiest sitcoms in modern history, if not all time. And that first season is very corny, and some episodes of it are very cheesy, and it is meant for people who are, younger than me. I'm 23, almost 24 years old. It's not meant for me. It's meant for, the children who love if you loved Full House when you're a little kid, and if you're 10 years old, you can watch Fuller House and it's fine. I watched it because, hey, listen, I loved Full House. I watched it every night on Nick at Night when I was a kid. I wouldn't mind seeing these characters come back, minus the Olsen twins, because they don't want to come back. That's fine. They're rich. But overall, it was an okay show. It was the jump start of these old IPs coming back. While most shows have reboots, even though this is not a reboot, this is technically like a revamp of a beloved property that is seen every single day in syndication, and it's on Hulu. And I thought it was kind of funny how they handled the whole Aunt Becky situation, because if those don't know, Aunt Becky in real life is going to jail, and Lori Loughlin, I think, hasn't filmed an episode in 2 years because that's when the shit went down. I thought it was odd, the choice of why she was not there, but I was like, okay, whatever. And of course, John Stamos comes in, and he's John Stamos. Those Greek genes are good to him. It's cool to see Bob Saget. It's cool to see Dave Coulier, and some characters come back, of course, throughout the show. That's generally what the point of the show is. While it's this new thing, you have characters come back. And the one that shocked me the most, I won't give it away, but it is one of the characters from Michelle's group of friends. So if you remember in the last few seasons when she's in 2nd or 3rd grade, she has this group of friends that she hangs out with, and it's 5 kids. It's Teddy, Derek, Aaron, and Denise, and then one other girl, I cannot remember her name, but she would constantly sing with Derek at whatever events they had in the show. And again, I will not spoil which character of that 5 comes back, but when they do, it shocks you of how funny it is. It is a legit funny cameo that this person comes in as. And another great cameo happens in the finale. I won't give it away for those who haven't finished the show, but it was a decent cameo. Now, in regards to the show, though, again, it had its up and downs. It's fairly corny, but that's the point is it's a happy sitcom where the whole point is, hey, the door's open. Come in. Live with us. Let's be together forever. And again, I'm sure the whole cast wanted to keep that show going. But maybe Netflix thought, hey, listen, we know people love the show, but and again, I don't know why they're canceling it. Maybe it started to cost them a amount of money. I don't know. Maybe they were worried that if the show would go down in quality over the years. But then again, for two reasons why. But of course, Full House went, 5 seasons and 75 episodes versus 32 Reasons Why went 4 seasons and 49 episodes. But granted, they're 2 totally different shows. And but again, like Netflix, this was, I felt, their first really huge sitcom that they did. I think it was the first sitcom that they did, though. I may be wrong, because I know that The Ranch came out in April of 2016. This came out, I believe, in February or March of 2016. But I remember, like, this was a big deal that it came back. And this is the first time that we've seen Andrea Barber on screen since 1995. And this is the first time we've seen Jodie Sweetin in a while. And, of course, you know, everybody knows what her personal life has been like since the show ended. But, yeah, you know what? She seems better. She seems happy. And, you know, Candace Cameron Bure is getting more money while she's making those Hallmark movies. Sorry, but they're not for me. And I am, you know, of course, people are probably sad that the show ended. I know they're sad. But you know what? If you like it, go ahead, finish it. If you have finished it, what are your thoughts? Did you like it or not? I thought it was okay. And now let's move on to the films that are coming out this weekend. You got 3. You got Defy Blood, which is Spike Lee's first film for Netflix. Netflix is crushing by the directors that they get. Now, of course, you know, the big deal back in the day, people were giving him shit for this, but everybody was thinking like, oh no, Adam Sandler has to partner with Netflix now because his movies are great and they're making less money. But he's making them giant numbers. His last one that he did, starring him and Jennifer Aniston, which was Murder Mystery, was the most watched piece of content on that service in 2019. And he signed another deal with them, so he's making them make another 4 movies for them. And his most recent one that his company made, The Wrong Missy, is doing well on Netflix. But Netflix started to take this other turn even though it's not a great movie, it started with Bright. Bright was the first Netflix film to have a giant scale budget. And then Netflix took a big turn when you got Scorsese to do a movie for them. And then Michael Bay. And now you have Dwayne Johnson's doing a movie for them. I know that's an actor, but it's still, this is the big deal that they got him. And they got Spike Lee. Say what you want about Spike Lee. He's a very powerful filmmaker. I think he is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. While not all of his movies are great, he is always so passionate, and he has a voice that's heard for ages and will be heard for ages because of films like Do the Right Thing, Black Klansman, and other films like Mo Better Blues and School Days. She's Gotta Have It, which was his first one. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Defy Blood. It's on Netflix. It's going to be about 154 minutes, so about 2.5 hours. It'll be a cool thing to see because, and again, I don't know how big the budget is for this movie, but when you got Spike Lee working with Netflix, I'm guessing the budget was fairly decent, or in regards to size, considering the cast that he has. Are you guys looking forward to Defy Bloods? I am. I'm going to watch it. Another one that's coming out on Disney Plus. Disney Plus is starting to get its groove back, even though they launched pretty decently, but because they don't really have much content they're coming out with, they're kind of in the water next to Apple TV Plus. I will not get Apple TV Plus until there's like a big old library. But Disney Plus is starting to come out with films. Like this one coming out, it's called Artemis Fowl, directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it has Josh Gad in it. And I don't know if any of you know the books. I didn't read the books. The only reason why I know what the books are is because an old classmate of mine, Owen Pinocchi, was reading one of them in 6th grade. That's the only reason why I know what this story is. And this was supposed to come out in June, I believe, and this has a pretty big budget. I think it's like $125 million, but they're putting it on Disney Plus. And again, they're in a pandemic and they have to shift shit around, and they realize, like, listen, our streaming service is kind of struggling at the moment. While we have a lot of back catalog, we don't have a lot of new stuff coming out. So let's put this one on there and see how it goes. And I don't think there's reviews up for it yet, and I don't know what the whole process is for critics in regards to content that's exclusively on streaming services. Maybe they have to wait until it's on the service to do the reviews. I'm not sure. But it is going to be on there on Friday. I think it's like 94 minutes, something like that. It's not long, but it'll be on there. I'll probably check it out. I'm more excited for Disney Plus is releasing Hamilton in July. I'm very excited about that. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm excited to watch that because I have not seen the play. I probably will never be able to afford to see the play, but it'll be cool to see this. This is one of the last performances of the original cast, and it's going to be on Disney Plus. I would imagine to see this in the theater, but hey, it's going to be on Disney Plus, and I can watch it how many times I want because I buy Disney Plus by the year because it saves you money. Yeah, the whole thing is, hey, it's only $6.99 a month. Buy a year of it. You know why? Because it's $69 a year divided by 12. That's $5.75. You save $1.24 a month if you do the yearly. And I'm excited for Hamilton. I will be looking forward to watching that. I can watch as many times as I want. And back to Artemis Fowl, I am going to watch it. I don't know what I'll think of it. I'll watch it. And I'll post my review on Stardust and my social media. The last one is one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and that is The King of Staten Island. This is Pete Davidson's semi-autobiographical comedic drama that he's doing with Judd Apatow, and he co-wrote it with Judd and his writing partner Dave Cyrus. And it's got Bill Burr, Marissa Tomei, Maude Apatow is in it. You have Pamela Adlin's in it. Moises Arias, Rico from Hannah Montana is in it. And Steve Buscemi is in it. I know people say Buscemi, but I heard him in an interview say his name is actually pronounced Buscemi. So that's what I'm doing that way. And it's about, and Pete has said this is kind of his life at the end. I found stand-up. And I believe he found stand-up when he was 16. And Pete Davidson is the reason why I went up and grabbed the mic and started doing jokes for the first time. And again, like of course, when people say, some other comedians when they say I was inspired by Carlin or Pryor or Rock or Lawrence, and some of these other those guys. But for me, I love all those comics. I do. I love Sandler. I love Spade. I love Jeselnik. I love Nikki Glazer. I like Taylor Tomlinson. I love Ron Funches. But like for me, like the one that really motivated me to do stand-up was Pete Davidson because he's about 3 years older than me, and I remember in high school because I've always wanted to be a comedian and make people laugh. And when you're in your senior year of high school, and there's a kid on Saturday Night Live that's only 3 years older than you, and he's on that show, it makes you think, hey, somebody around my age is doing this, and they're crushing. I know that some people don't like his comedy. I love his comedy because I relate to it because I've talked about it. My dad's dead. He died when I was 16. Now, Pete Davidson lost his father when he was 7 years old in 9/11. My dad died when I was 16, and he had a heart attack. So very different circumstances. But again, like he's honest in how he's dealing with it. He dealt with it. I've been fairly honest about how I dealt with it. And this movie touches on the fact that his character's father is dead, and his character's name is the name of his real life father, Scott. And he's dealing with the fact that, hey, his character is dealing with my dad's dead. I'm still dealing with my mom. My mom starts to date somebody. Shit's starting to change. And I'm excited for it because this is going to be one of the most personal movies I probably have ever watched. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to cry. It's going to be 136 minutes, but I'm looking forward to it. I am. It's going to be on demand. I think it'll probably cost like $20. I'm gonna watch it once because again, I can't. If I want to, because I'll probably want to watch this over and over and over again. I can't keep spending $20. I'll rent it on demand for the $20. Watch it, and then I will buy it when it comes out on Blu-ray DVD combo pack because I know I will want to. And in many ways, Pete Davidson to me represents a version of me. I deal with some of the issues that he deals with, and he's very honest about it in his stand-up and everything that he does. I have never met him because, again, I'm not. Even though I'm in the stand-up world, I'm not to the level of because again, I don't live in New York. I live in the Sacramento area, and the Sacramento comedy scene is different than like L.A. or New York or Chicago. And he was at the first year of Clusterfest. He was great at that. And I saw some pictures on Instagram of the live feed of the festival where some people took pictures with him when he was walking around. And a part of me was super bummed because I wanted to meet that guy so bad. But I thought of it as, listen, did I get to meet him? No. But I will meet him in the future one day. I hope one day to work with him. I hope one day to say, hey, listen, your stand-up helped me out through a lot of stuff. You in many ways, and maybe it was not your intent to, but it helped me. And many people have talked about that for him, or have said that towards him. Said that to him about their own struggles. And he helps me. His stuff helps me a lot with my struggles. When I would be having a bad fucking day, I would watch his stand-up on YouTube. I would watch some of his. I would watch his clips on an update. I would watch his roast sets. I would watch all that shit. And I'm looking forward to where his career is going. And he said that he'll be at Saturday Night Live as long as they'll have me. And for those who don't like him on Saturday Night Live, I like it because he's not a character. He doesn't do a lot of impressions. He mostly is just himself. The reason why he's been there for so long is because he goes on Update at least like 4, 5, 6 times a year, and he crushes it. And he just speaks his mind. He voices his opinions. Sometimes he gets in trouble for it, but listen, he's an honest person. From what I understand, he's a very nice guy. He doesn't mean any ill feelings towards anybody. He, of course, in the public has had some very famous romances that have ended not so great, but he has no ill will towards anybody. And while I'll never probably date the amount of the famous women that he's been with, he has set an example of, listen, let's say if you're you are in that world and you date somebody that's a lot more famous than you and it ends badly, never wish any ill will towards that person because you broke up. It just didn't work. And that's kind of like my goal in relationships for anything, whether it's me when I'm in the industry or when I'm just by myself. Like, and again, obviously, I haven't dated anybody. I'm an introvert and I don't really like people. But like one of my goals is when I do, date people, and if it ends badly, I don't wish any ill will. I want it to end on fairly good terms and not end in a shit show. And I don't want to end up in a relationship like Phil Hartman, where you all know how that ended. When I date people, I don't want shit to end badly. And of course, this ain't going to be this perfect world where that's not going to happen. But I hope it doesn't. And overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to King of Staten Island. It's one of my most anticipated of the year. I hear it's really good. I hear it's very honest. I hear it's more of a drama than it is a comedy. I hear it's similar to Judd Apatow's other movie, Funny People. I know, my hair is long. I was supposed to go get a haircut today, but they have a bunch of shit you got to do. At the barbershop that I go to, you have to do a bunch of shit before you get there. So I'll go to tomorrow and get all that chopped off. Because I have grown so much hair during this pandemic. I don't know if you can see how high that shit goes. I have like Conan O'Brien hair. It goes so high up. And that's all natural hair. Like there's no product in it, nothing. I just have this, this giant poodle on top of my head. Well, actually, no, not a poodle. But actually, no. The perfect dog analogy. I have this giant black Labrador up here. There you go. That's better. Is it? I don't know. I don't know my dog breeds. I just know that most dogs are adorable except for the Italian Greyhound. That is a scary, creepy-looking dog. It's a tiny little rat, and with those beady little eyes. Sorry, but I don't like Italian Greyhounds. I don't. Blame Andy Samberg for that, because he pointed out how creepy they look. And overall, like I said, I'm excited for it. And this is it for this episode. This is a short one. I thought it was going to be 40, 50 minutes, but it's a lot less longer than that. And again, this is me just shooting the shit because I'm just talking. I'm not interviewing anybody. I'm going to start my podcast in a couple of weeks and I'll start interviewing people. But this is just me being me and me rambling on and on and on. I apologize if I bored you with this. I'm sorry that you probably checked out after like 5 minutes. But this is just me being me, and this is the first time that I'm talking to people in a while. Because you know why? Because I quit social media for a while. It was messing with my brain. Because you know what I mean? How when you're on it for so long, it fucks with your head, and it just makes you just feel like shit. And plus, also, I haven't been on the stage in a comedy club in like 5 months. I went and did a set like a month and a half or 2 months before the pandemic happened. And that was the last one. I haven't done that in a while. And looking forward to doing it again. But like I said, sorry if I'm just rambling on and on and on. This is my first official one that I did. I did do a live stream a couple days ago just to do a test run of it, but I hope to get better at it. And like I said, this will be it. I hope I didn't bore you to death. I am ending this now. Feel free to comment. If not, oh well. If you like this, subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Give me your comments. What did you think? Get in on the conversation. And that's it. Okay, later. I'll be back in a couple days with my next one.